worship is my weapon. At first it was fragrance, then it turned to fire. My worship is my weapon. This is how I win my battle. At first it was fragrance, my worship is my weapon.
I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe to yet another webinar by the men of the Nigeria Baptist Convention. It is worth saying that the Nigeria Baptist Convention parades the largest gathering of men in Africa. and arguably in the world in the Baptist denomination. So it is not surprising that our leaders continue to set the pace in innovative and strategic thinking and programs. It is in this light that I give kudos to our national president, Dr. Soye Asawo, the national officers, NEC members, and of course, the tireless and highly resourceful chairman of our National Webinar Committee, Honorable Moses Ubi-Odege, who is also the PRO of our great union, for their resolve to empower our men through the webinar series. This commencement appreciation will not be complete without mentioning the continued enthusiasm and robust support of our global, continental, and regional leaders for our webinar programs. This webinar, the second in the series this year, promises to be an enlightening one as usual. Now to the business of the day. A practical biblical verse that references wealth making is Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. It reveals that it is God who teaches our hands to make wealth. This affirms the necessity to work towards creating and multiplying wealth, even when God has given us the needed wisdom. It must be said straight away that there are many legitimate routes to wealth making and wealth building. There are also several models for multiplying resources. There are sole proprietorships, partnerships, corporations, limited liability companies, or even health corporations. A modern way of multiplying wealth is crowdfunding, which is the use of small amounts of capital from a large number of people to raise money or fund a business. Aside from these wealth multiplying models, a time-tested and traditional means of wealth building is a cooperative venture, which brings people together to pool funds and redistribute the same in an equitable, fair, and methodical manner. It also makes it possible to build personal and collective wealth. The Men Missionary Union of the Nigeria Baptist Convention is set to launch a multi-purpose cooperative venture. The incubation of this idea has taken several months, with accomplished Baptist men thinking through, designing, and fine-tuning the structure of what promises to be the largest cooperative endeavor anywhere in the world. This session is to sensitize all of us as men of the Nigeria Baptist Convention to this wealth-building vehicle. We hope that today's session will not be in vain. Today, we'll be speaking on the topic, Baptist Men Making Wealth Together the Cooperative Way. To lead our thoughts and break this idea down are two professionals. And in no particular order, I have Bra Funsho Amo, who is a petroleum engineer trained at the Universities of Ibadan and Austin, Victoria, Texas, United States. He has over 33 years of experience in oil and gas upstream, midstream, downstream, and energy sectors. He is the executive chairman of Fonte Group of Companies with activities in oil and gas and energy sectors. He's also the chairman of MMU, New Dawn Baptist Church, Victoria Island, Lagos. In fact, he's also the chairman of our investment committee of the ESSEC Global Ventures Limited, the business arm of the Nigeria Baptist Convention Men Missionary Union. He's also the president of All Student Association of Methodist Grammar School, Bodija, Ibadan, and chairman, board of trustee of Methodist Grammar School, Bodija, Ibadan Cooperative Society. So you agree with me that we have brought somebody who knows about what we are going to talk about today. And of course, we will know more about him as this venture unfolds. And again, I have Barrister Olumi Wawe, who is a legal practitioner of many years, spanning banking, litigation, and corporate legal practice. He is an accomplished professional. He is the company secretary and director of administration of Premier Medical Aid Limited, a health maintenance organization. Barrister Olumiwa is versed in cooperative matters. I also want to let us know that at the fringe of our panelists, we also have two seasoned people, gurus about cooperative, and when it comes to managing funds. And then the course of this webinar, we'll also be listening to them. I have Brother John Enemue, who is with us this afternoon. We are going to be hearing his voice as time goes on, because looking at what we have today, we'll be depending a lot on technology to drive this venture, because we are talking about men across our country and even beyond. So we have brought him. Brother Nemo is a graduate of computer science for over 36 years. He studied at the University of Ibadan, and of course at Frankfurt University, Germany. And he's been a teacher of computer science at University College School, London, UK, in the last 22 years. And of course, we'll also be hearing that he has, there's a software that will be deployed in this venture that we are going into, because we know that integrity about finance, about money, is so important. We will be wondering, how do you coordinate or establish a multi-purpose cooperative society with this kind of number? So we are going to be hearing about that. And of course, we have Brother Tiba. He is also a member of the technical committee, who is also versed in about money matters. We'll be hearing about him as well. So let me say that this event is designed to be participatory. Thus, we welcome questions and comments. We enjoin all our participants, everyone that is involved, to please, you can send your questions online. For many of us who have been part of the webinar for a number of years, we know that. We are going to address your questions, and then we will do justice to them. Our panelists will speak to these questions. My name is Adebola Adesina. I'm the one anchoring today's event. So Brother Muiwa and Brother Amo, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome Brother John, and of course, I want to welcome Brother Tiba. I know that the president of the Men Missionary Union of Nigeria Baptist Convention, Associate Prof. Soya Sao, is also on call on this webinar. He will be speaking to us later. So let's get down to business. Brahmo, what is all this about? What is all this cooperative thing about for Baptist men? Can you share your opinion, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you all members. It's an opportunity to be with you this afternoon. Look, I would like us to look at what happened in the past. In the past in Nigeria, we had missionaries and all those stuff, and they came for the purpose of winning souls. They set up school, they give people scholarship and all those stuff. And somewhere along the line, the government of Nigeria forced them to relinquish those. And you can see since they relinquished those school and the initiative and all those stuff, ever since then, we've been having all sorts of issues, value decay, economic problem, and all those stuff. Today, despite all the challenges, we have many Christian body doing many things, schools. In fact, the best universities or the product of university out of the private university are from mission-oriented school, same primary and secondary school. So what we are saying now is that the challenge we have in this country, with where we are and what the Christian body has been able to demonstrate in the past and currently, then we have to do a lot more. Today, despite the fact that we lack basic infrastructure, light, water, road, the institutions, estate development and all those stuff that are being run by Christian body, and they are showing the way, and she is showing that this thing can be done properly. We have estate schools and all those stuff where we have 24 hours light and so on and so forth. So where we're going to is that we as Christians, because of the challenges that we're having, we have to come up more and do a lot more of what we are doing. In fact, we have to show government how to run government. And we have the ability to do everything about funds. And so that is what leads us to why we should be talking about this. The MMU or the National Executive recognize this. They set up a technical committee. I'm happy to be among them, actually the chair. And it took us a bit of while. We investigated all sorts of businesses. At the end of the day, because we call in so many experts, we talk to them and all those stuff, and through the direction of Holy Spirit, we landed on what we call financial investment business. Because that doesn't require too much of day-to-day participation, which is a great challenge for mission-oriented organization like MMU. And when we did that, the bottom line is fund. How do we get fund? We thought of two options. One option is what we call maybe small group of people investment, where we invest and we invite some Baptist, men that we believe that can form investment club. The other option is collective group investment system, which is similar to cooperative. So we presented this to our leadership, MMU leadership, and we put the both pro and cons. And they chose the collective one, which is the same thing in our mind, only that we have to let them know. So the next question is that what is a cooperative society? A lot of us are members of cooperative society, but I need to talk a little bit more for maybe people that are not. Cooperative society is a voluntary association of individuals united by common bond to have common purpose together in order to grow their own benefit. They are governed by Nigerian Cooperative Society Act, and the registration of cooperative society is effected at the National Office of Civil Registration. What are the eligibility? We have different types of societies which are cooperative. There are those that are agricultural society. There are those that are saving and credit society. There are those that are specialized multipurpose skill society, and others that other type of cooperative. So the kind that have been proposed for us here is what we call multipurpose, which the whole intention is to raise funds that will enable us to take on projects. Mind you, this is a mission-oriented. So the way it is that portion of the profit coming from this cooperative will be going into the MMU missions work, while the remaining portion will be used to pay dividends. So it's two-in-one program for the contributor. We have ability to contribute, to MMU mission work, so that there won't be too much pressure on members to, just as Dickens said earlier, levy every time. But if we have a thriving business that is bringing money for MMU, you will have that providing sort of form from the profit that will be coming up from this. At the same time, the contributor will be having opportunity to get dividend, which even if they put money in bank and all those, they won't get through interest that bank pay. Let's then go to what we call the advantage of our population of strength. Dr. Dikimbola mentioned earlier that we are probably the largest congregation of men in the world, and it's right. I was, part of doing this investigation, I've also learned so many things about Baptists that I didn't know before. If you go online today, you will see that if you go and Google membership population of Baptists in Nigeria, you will see that we have about 14 million members. I was amazed. 14 million members That's about 6.5% of Nigerian population, and we are where we are. What this means is that out of 100 Nigeria, about 6 to 7 is a Baptist member. So what it means is that we have a lot of opportunity to actually affect what is going on in Nigeria. So let's go a little bit better. How can Baptist members influence Nigeria? A typical small state in Nigeria, their budget is about 200 billion. But if you look at what 200 billions boiled down to for the members of Nigerian Baptist Convention, it's only about 14,000 in a year, which is about 1,200 naira per month if we decide that we just be putting that kind of money. Anambra State just announced their budget about 420. So if we say we even want to take on something bigger than Anambra, which we call one of the rich states, and say 450 billion, that translates just about 32,000 contribution, which is about 2,700 naira. So you can see, because of our strength, Baptist members actually can run as a state government. In fact, I won't be surprised that we can, with just 2,000 something, we will be mushrooming and be getting the kind of 2,000 something a month. We will be raising what the Federal Ministry of Works in Nigeria is spending on the entire budget on infrastructure. So you can see the strength that we have. And one of the greatest problems that we Africa have is to work collectively together. But because we're in a religious setting, we have transparent leadership. The structure that we are putting together is such that you have the management of the cooperative. You will have what is called the another committee that will be verifying the type of investment and so on and so forth. So it's going to be very, very transparent. So going back to Baptist, assuming 50% of Baptist members are, Baptist people that are, attending Baptist church are members. And we then say 25% of those ones are men. Take into consideration, we have many young adults who are yet married and all those stuff. You find out that we have about 1.75 million members of MMU, which is large. So what it means that if only 10 or 20% of our member can contribute 1,000 naira monthly every year, I'm just talking of minimum contribution, others can do that. We will be talking about raising somewhere between 4 to 6 billion naira every year that we can send aside for projects. So when we are hearing all this billion, we used to think it's in the reach of some other people, but sorry, it's within our reach as men, just with 1,000 naira a month. We can go places, we can do a lot of, we can raise billion and then take on many capital projects that will create job opportunity for a lot of our children, that will create economic activity that will support what is going on in Nigeria. And then we will make money from it to fund mission activities. Let me stop there because I know there will be question and answer, and some of what I want to talk about may be what I'm going to talk later. So let me just stop here so that I will allow others, the other panelists and other people to talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bro Mao. You spoke so passionately about this project. There's no doubt that you are part of the incubators. The way you read out the figures and, of course, the benefits that we are going to derive. When funds are involved, there's need for transparency, there's need for management, there's need for people to be assured that their money is safe. We are going to come back a bit to that, but I want to ask Bra Awe, listening to what Bra Amao has said, do you agree that this multipurpose cooperative society is a good business for the Nigeria Baptist Convention men as of today? Can we benefit? What are we going to be better for it as men?
Well, good day, sir, and all members on board. I need to commend the Men's Missionary Unit for this initiative. It's a step in the right direction. Yes, Brother Amo has told us so much about the background of the church, the men, which I totally agree with. We live in a society, we live in times now when we need help. Men need help. And where is this help going to come from? It's going to come from within us. How well can we think? How well can we plan? How well can we project? And what can we do for ourselves? There's very little the government can do. There's little anybody can do for us. So we need self-help. And with the cooperative society, it's just a group of people coming together, pulling together funds to help each other. You have a pool of funds guided by law. Every activity of the cooperative is guided by law, by its statutory. There are statutory conditions to fulfill. So when the funds come together, there's transparency, and you are sure you can vouch for the integrity of all members involved. Then they approach the cooperative and take loans at very reasonable interest rates and return to time. And for the kind of group that we're involved in, we can vouch for the integrity of members. 99% we can vouch for the integrity of members. So there's no way this venture will not be successful. But I need to let us know that yes, we are out to provide service. And while providing this service, there's going to be a management committee which will undertake certain assignments for us. And while undertaking these assignments, they are guided by certain principles. The principle of honesty, which I don't have any doubt is there. Openness, there's nothing hidden in the activities. To be open to all members. They have access to all records. Social responsibility to our members, to members of the group, is also guaranteed. And in line with that, there's a passion and care for everybody involved, because you want to see everybody succeed. The success of whoever takes a facility or is involved in this venture will add to the total progress of what we're embarking on. So with prayers and support and care, the sky is the limit for this venture, for this group. And for the committee in charge, the committee will work as a team. It's not a one-man thing. We will come together, the committee will come together as the executive committee of the cooperative. We work together as a team. They will be accountable to all members. They will empower all members. They will give leadership under a democratic environment. So it's so transparent and beneficial to everybody who subscribes to it. And most importantly, we all know, and we've been out there, the economy is not that supportive. So it's a bit risky to even approach the bank for a facility. And when you look at the interest rates and even the very stringent conditions you have to fulfill to be able to access funds at all. And I'm telling you from the little experience I have, without access to additional funds here and there, it's so difficult to achieve anything, especially in business. Some of us are in paid employment. We're looking at a time when we have to leave paid employment, and maybe we're thinking of a fallback option. No savings from employment is enough to set up anything. The bank is difficult to approach because by the time you approach the bank, you are giving up tooth and nail to be able to get anything out of the bank. How about the risk of paying back due to the interest rates? But with the cooperative society, very flexible rates, flexible conditions, very friendly approach and opportunities to get from it. So I'm totally in agreement with this, totally in support with Brother Funsho Amo, that this is the way to go, and God guiding and leading, we shall make a success of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brawe. I think some of the things you have mentioned will really assure people that this is not a cooperative venture that is just to be done, and so people will just capitalize on it, and then their funds will go into the drains. We've talked about a management committee. We have talked about executive committee. We have talked about transparency, and we have talked about people of integrity that will manage this society. I think that is important because we are talking about thousands of people subscribing to this multi-purpose cooperative society. I'll be asking Brother John to speak in a while because the question that may be playing the minds of people right now, everywhere, listening to this or viewing, is okay. How do you? Many people know about cooperative, maybe just few numbers. We are talking about thousands across country. Are you going to be having cards? Are you going to be somebody to be recording like a clerk and then be giving you, like that? So we are going to be, that's where technology will come in. But before Brother John speaks, I want to ask Brother Atiba to say something about this project. He was a member of he's still a member of the committee, and he also was part of the incubators of this venture. Please, for 2-3 minutes, please, Brother Atiba.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And then first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I'm not taking it for granted. Given this limited time I have to speak, I would just like to re-echo one or two things. The Bible tells us that 1 will chase 1,000, 2 will chase 10,000. Basically, it's talking about synergy. And you all know that the bigger we are, the more funds we can raise, and the more we can do together. As Baptists, we tend not to be in tandem with where we should be, given our numbers. If you look at the Anglican, for instance, they raised funds to build the CMS bookshop house. You can imagine how much is raking in for them today. Similarly, Methodists, they have the Sterling Towers on Marina. You can also imagine how much that is raking in for them. So we have a problem of always coming back to our members to ask for funds to do several things, which if only we can pull resources together like this, we can achieve. Now, I'm not happy to report that we are trying to do something in Baptist when we have our microfinance bank. But what we are doing is a far cry from what others are doing. Redeem has 2 outlets. One is Haggai Mortgage Bank. The last time I checked, they have a 5 billion shareholding. No, sorry, 5 billion capital, and then about 12 billion shareholding? I'm not very sure, please. I need to check that. Similarly, Jubilee Life, another 6 billion. But if you look at our own, the last time I checked, we are at 100 million. 100 million, a far cry from where we should be. So what are we saying? If we can get our members, like our chairman said, everybody put 1,000 naira. Now do the multiplication. 1 million people will bring in 1 billion naira. Now, I also know some people will say, no, I will not do 1,000. I like to do for my children. I like to do for this. I like to do for that. So you can imagine how much we can raise. And when we raise that such quantum of money, we can now put them in investments, which will be properly managed by professionals. And then we can get good returns. We're not going to be mushroom. We're not going to be doing all these small businesses that cannot be properly monitored. And thank God for technology. You are talking about cards and stuff like that. I think things are gone past now. Now we have technology. Everybody can key in money. You can see what everybody is doing. At the end of the day, you can see money has been raised, what's going to be used for, and we can see how we can achieve. And with this, we can evangelize. The other day, I was at Catholic Hospital at Iju Road in Lagos here, and I saw how much investment they did with the money they have. I know we can even achieve more, but we need this synergy. We need this pool of funds to come together. And like my brother said earlier, thank God for I'm a Baptist. We believe in the autonomy of the local church, but Baptist men cut across all Baptist churches, so we can reach out to all of us and pull resources together and do these things together. And I'm sure with the sense of purpose, God helping, we will get there. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Brawi Atiba. I remember that the first time, probably about 3 years back now, at the Baptist Church, when I first met you, I was talking about this. You spoke so glowingly about this kind of crowdfunding. And of course, I know you believe in this. And the way you have spoken, I believe that if you really go into this and going by the structures that have been put on ground, we are going to move very fast and we are going to go far. When you talk about what other denominations, for instance, have done with business and investment, and we compare such to the Baptists, we know it's a far cry. Looking at Bowen Microfinance, I think that's what we are referring to. 100 million, that is a chicken change, something that cannot sustain even small business of today, looking at inflation, looking at Forex and everything. So I believe that the idea of this has come at a right time. And now that everybody is almost struggling to survive, something that I believe we are going to buy into. But before asking Brother Mao, because I know Brother Mao is itching to speak, to really make members to come and put their resources down. You know, it's a lot of things, looking at the number that have been involved. Brother John, how do you think this will happen? We know that you have a software that has been developed and maybe deployed for this kind of a thing. Can you enlighten us more so that people will get will have confidence in what we want to do in 5 minutes or less, please?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'd just like to thank you for the opportunity you've given me to actually speak on how we can manage what I would call big data. When you're actually going into things like cooperative like this, the sooner you realize that you're going to be dealing with big data, not too long, the better. Normally, I will just start by saying we at the Methodist Grammar School alumni, we have our own cooperative, which we started 3 years ago. And at first, we were just a couple of 20-something of us made a start. But then we soon realized that this has the potential to grow to over 1,000, even 20, 30, 40,000. And then you have to realize that every year you have information that you have to keep and carry over to the next year. How do you kind of manage data from year to year? So that necessitated that we develop a software, which, I don't know whether I can share the screen. So that I quickly just show some pilot run. Now, what happens is that when members see that their information, there is integrity in what is kept about them, when they request for their statement, they see that their statement is up to date without any ambiguity, they tend to have more confidence. Also, when you as an administrator of information that you are looking after are able to interrogate your system and pull up information just with a click of a button, you'll be glad you can. So gone are the days where you start digging out files to see where people have paid up to. So yeah, this system we're talking about will be able to at least capture people as they make payment, apply the payment to their amount, and periodically, say quarterly, send them statement to see where they are up to date with their statement. And if they are late in making payment, which tends to happen in things like this, people have different reasons why they are late in making payment. The system can also capture to note when someone has made payment late for the particular month. And of course, I will also advise that in your design of the system, one thing you must not overlook is have some consequence for people making payment late, because that will be unfair to those that are making payment promptly. So you want to make sure everybody is carried along fairly also. So this system is robust enough to handle that. And it can be developed. And once it's developed, it's better that you start it from the start. And of course, don't forget again, when you are dealing with people across not just one state, even sometimes not across just one continent, because people can be from other continents to keen into the investment. You want to also think about to know who they are, know your customer, like they say also. So you want information about them, like their photos, their pictures, their proof of address. All these things too can be captured also at the initial stage, so that you don't have to go back. All you have to do is every year, or periodically, you just need to check with each member to make sure that their details are still correct. So, yes, you surely. I mean, have I been allowed to share the screen yet, or
you can quickly do it? Let's see before we go back.
I think the host is still not giving me the enabling. If the host can. Okay, I think it's still disabled by the host also. So anyway, the system is just a simple database system, which has it's not just using spreadsheet, because that's what we started with in our own cooperative. Started with spreadsheet, but after 1 year or 2 years of running it on spreadsheet, we realized that it's difficult to get information from a spreadsheet, which spans across several sheets or so. So it's more like a flat file in that case. But now this is more like a relational database. And we just use a simple system, software to design it, which is Microsoft Access. And of course, I will advise that when you start initially, that you keep it to just you managing it. Don't allow members to have access to it directly. But as time progresses, you can, of course, if you want people to be able to log in and check their up-to-date statement themselves, all you need to do is just send it, make it a web-based version. But then I would advise that at that stage, make sure that you have enough and robust firewall or so to prevent people trying to interact with it in an undue advantage way or so. So yeah, but at first, just keep it in-house. You have already sole access to it, and then people can always phone in to get requests or email to get requests, and you send them their printouts also through email or through their WhatsApp numbers. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother John. I'm going to come back to you. I think you have mentioned some things that people will have to do in the process of doing this. When everything has been set up, and then people can access.
Okay, sorry, I think you just give me the access now. I said I have the access now.
Okay.
This is something I was talking about. This is just something as simple as this. So people can, the organizers can at least get, the good thing with the flexibility of the system is because it's tailor-made. So you will just say what you need, and as more need arises, you can include it. So for example, you could just you could find out who has not paid for this month. That's by clicking a button. So print active member for the report, or print members with missing a month report, things like that. Or you want to print receipt, which is something that people want to have as soon as they make their payment. You can print their receipt and send them their receipts straight online. And this system will require that everybody joining has at least an email address and or a number with a WhatsApp, so that they can at least be able to receive a digital information about either their receipt or their statement. And I can tell you that anywhere in the world, even in Nigeria, even in the remote part of Nigeria, people already has things like WhatsApp anyway. So at least they can get their digital statement straight also through that also. So, and like I said again, when you create a system, make sure that you have things like, for example, you can have things, how you're going to capture the information. Also, the system will allow you to be able to at least enter their, say, for example, when you open the members form, you can at least see this my record, for example, which I'm happy to share with you guys. That's my record there. You can see the picture. So you think about other things you want to have also already in advance, okay? And then of course you have to also make provision for people joining and leaving and maybe coming back later. So that button active member. So as soon as they join, they'll be active. And in case they want to withdraw for a while, for some reasons, because people generally, they may lose their job, maybe they are unwell or so for a while and they cannot continue to participate for one particular year, then you can make them inactive for that period. And then as soon as they want to come back again, you don't have to capture everything all over again. You just need to update what you have already of them. So these are kind of the things you want to do at the beginning. And once you already have that set up already, the sky is the limit. And like I said again, these things can handle millions or if not billions of data at a time or so without any interruptions. So I'll stop here in case anyone has any.
Thank you so much for this. I think this is this makes people to have confidence. This will stir up confidence in the minds of potential subscribers and all our men, because, as I said, one of the things I've been asked in the process of doing this is, okay, how will you manage the data? How will you manage the number? How do you make people to feel that their fund, their money is secured and all those things? I said, well, there's technology. And that was where Brother Alfonso Amau said, yes, there's somebody who is already in it and is also his schoolmate. So we'll come back to that. Brother Amau, when are we going to roll out this venture?
Thank you very much, sir. First of all, let me go back to John, so that our member know the value that through the president and your leadership we are brought. You know, instead of us to reinvent the wheel, what we tried to do was to get the best out of an existing cooperative society that are manned by people of integrity, and the cooperative is blossoming and is a lot of people are joining. John is the BOT chairman of our alumni, where I'm the president. So we're quite close. We know each other since our day in secondary school. John took it, you know, John is one of the person that, you know, we have a lot of, he took it as a service, free of charge to the alumni to develop this software. So when I approach him, and the plan of the alumni is that they will be selling this thing to other cooperative society. So when I approach John as a man of faith also that, look, this is what we want to do at MMU, and we like, John, quickly, John, be safe and sure, I'm in for it. I will give all the support. We will give this thing to you free of charge. You don't need to pay for it. We will support, we will train. So where I'm going is that for people to know that we really meant well, right from the leadership, based on the mandate given to us, we are getting people, you know, that have done this thing and they have packaging that can support us right from the beginning. The same thing with Muiwa. Muiwa is our lawyer, you know, who is doing this registration. This kind of thing take a lot of time, but, you know, using him because of his vast experience and all those stuff, we're able to get an accelerated treatment. So we finished, maybe Muiwa, you correct me, we are working on finishing the registration hopefully by end of this month. So all things being equal, we would like to roll this thing out, and that's the target. That, you know, I would like to thank you, Dickin and from our president. They gave us a lot of pressure, and that this is an initiative that they will like to start as soon as possible. And based on their mandate, we went quite far and aggressively to do whatever it takes, conclude the registration and all those stuff, so that will enable us to put all the structure together. And our anticipated target is to start early next year. And talking about what Brother Wu said earlier, Brother Wu has been a major supporter in this right from beginning. Bowen Microfinance is one of what, when we talk, we use as a reference point. Bowen is capitalized at 100 million. Agai Mortgage, owned by Redeem, is capitalized at 5 billion. Jubilee Mortgage, 6 billion. In fact, do you know that our other religion, the Muslim, they have Sukuk Islamic bond that is capitalized 130 billion. 130 billion. But that is nothing. Based on what I said earlier, with 40 million membership, that we can even contribute what state government have, contribute. I mean, that they are using their budget every year. So we have what it takes. And there are two types of structures. When I mentioned 1,000 per month and all those stuff, it's just to give flexibility. What we are looking at is to encourage people to say, we want to start with, some people may say, just like you mentioned earlier, some people say we want to do for our children. We can say, okay, I'm starting with 50,000 a year for me, and I will be doing that maybe at the beginning of the year. For some of our other brethren, we create that flexibility. Okay, you can do it 1,000 a month, which will be managed by the local church authority. They will be the one. What we are proposing is that they will be the one that manage that, and on monthly basis, this will be transferred to the account of the cooperative. And you can see based on the software is so good that by the time it's fully rolled out and it's functional, at the end of every month or every quarter, you, individual person, will have a PIN number, and you can go in and type your PIN number and see everything, so that you will see that transparency. Just to answer what you said, sir, we want to move aggressively by the mandate from you and the president. We want to see that we start by January next year. Let me stop here. There are still so many things based on maybe question that people will ask. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bramo. You mentioned twice that I've been giving pressure and our president has been giving pressure. Thank God that national president is also here, so he's going to bail me out. It's the pressure I was getting from the national that I'm also passing on to you
Yes.
as board chairman. So thank you. We appreciate what you have done and the fact that this is almost getting to a cost, so birthing, and then the thing will start. Bro, where you are here, what is the state of our registration right now as we are on this program?
We should have our certificates within the next 2 weeks, on or before, latest in 2 weeks. We'll have it in 2 weeks.
Okay. So a certificate to begin to operate.
Yes, to begin to operate.
Fantastic. I want to say again to all Baptist men all over the world listening and also viewing this program that this is a business that is going to start rolling in the next few weeks. 2024 is here, and I believe it's going to be this venture is going to be a transformative vehicle for our union, for individuals and everyone. So what I would just add is that I think you should begin to set aside funds to key into this immediately, so that we can go we can go far. Again, if I go back to Brawi and ask him, Brawi, please, again, what will you say to our Baptist men, knowing about the mind-blowing things that you have spoken to me about this business?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get what are you trying to ask, sir? Sorry, I didn't get that question.
I say, what will you want to say to our men, looking at the fact that our registration certificate is almost out, and the fact that the president designate has mentioned flexibility of contribution, and people who want to also to pay maybe in bulk. I'm asking, I say, what do you want to say to our men, being a Baptist man? What will you say to them to motivate them about this project?
Thank you very much, sir. I like this very question, sir. One thing I like about Baptists for number one is that we are all given religious liberty. Again, we all volunteer to associate together. We have voluntary association. And none of our activities are compelling. People are encouraged to come and participate. And from my own little experience in Baptist, when people see that you are really sincere in getting things done, I can see people participating. As a financial secretary in Yaba Baptist Church, I know that there's a time we had somebody who had a health challenge, and we need to raise funds. What we did was that we asked somebody, a medical personnel who's in the committee, to please talk to the church. We didn't ask the pastor to talk to the church. You'll be surprised, sir, that we raised beyond what we needed for that person who had a health challenge. So the remaining went into an account, which we started using for things like that. So what I'm trying to say is that I see a situation whereby with proper educating our people on the benefits of these things, of this, or what we're talking about, they're going to launch into it. And again, I think my chairman said it. I can't remember where, maybe I read it somewhere. We should lead by example. I, for instance, the moment we launch these things, I'm going to drag my children in. I'm going to drag as many people as I think are in. Because if we only sit down to see the benefits, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be left behind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Brother Tiba. Thank you so much. I think that's to also encourage our men that once it starts, you need to bring in people. Bring your children, and a lot of it is an investment vehicle, which has dividends at the end of the tunnel there that we are going to benefit from. I want to ask Brother John again. I want to say that Brother John is joining us today from London, UK, and we thank you for your time. Now, we know that technology will be deployed, but from your experience, what have been the fear of people? What has happened, probably that has made people not to trust even this technology that we want to deploy into this venture, please?
People need not fear what they used to fear in the past. So, usually, the way we run our own at Methodist Grammar School Alumni Cooperative, and I must say at this point that it's so efficiently run that year in, year out, we pay more dividend than any first generation bank has been able to pay to their shareholders. So, I mean, as per share. It's quite straightforward. You make sure that at least you have the bank that you're going to be receiving the payment through. There will be an email link to that bank for your email alert. Make sure you have an email alert. So what you need to do is the administrator will have, and also some of the chairmen and the key officers of that account, you link that email so that you have what we call the forwarding email from that email to any of those people's email. So that as soon as, for example, as soon as the payment is made to our bank account, I get an alert forwarded to me straight to my email from our own account email. And as soon as I see that email immediately, I will then respond immediately with a receipt. In fact, some of the members are sometimes they're so amazed because as soon as they are making payment online and they will get the email immediately, straight on, they're getting their statement, their receipt also of their payment in the next 5-10 minutes. Now, we know that our banks sometimes, due to network issues, they can be very, very funny. Maybe the alert will not deliver or maybe sometime late. Well, that's acceptable. What happens is that every month we tend to get a statement, which we are carefully looked through to make sure that there is no payment that was missed that we did not send a receipt to. And also encourage our members actually that as soon as they make payment, if they could just send us a WhatsApp or an email message with their payment the payment copy also, so that we can at least be aware that we're expecting a payment. And so that if we don't get one, we can quickly check from our statement in our bank account also. So really, there is already ways to mitigate, make sure that payments are not missed and people get their receipt promptly. And once all these things are happening, and the fact that you have your record already set up and it's live and working fine for you, then it means that at the end of the year, if you want to kind of send people their end of year statement of account, it's quite straightforward. You just one button, you print it out. With another button, you can do group mail margin straight to everybody's email account or to their mobile number so that they can get it delivered to them also seamlessly without any stress. So there should be no worries in terms of managing those part of it also. And again, sometimes it's good to keep some of the security aspect of the system away from the general public. So I will not be talking so much about some of the things that we do behind the screen to make sure that at least the integrity of the data is protected so that you can really serve your members even better. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brother John. I want to allay the fears of anyone about this venture. As I said, we've been on this for months, try to get it straight before deciding to use it as a seminar, a webinar topic. Because we know that, as I said, I've been repeating this, when it comes to money, and we have debated this so well in the committee, when it comes to money, people are quite sensitive. And we are glad that we have a brother John, I can say, is with us. Once we have Brother Mo, Brother John is here. So we are going to work on this, and I can show you that there's safety of our investment, safety of our contribution. I want to thank Brother Kaode Bankole. I'm sure Barrister Bankole said that everything sounds so smooth and straight, and thanking us for this initiative. This is not just cajoling. This is not doing 419. This is not a Ponzi scheme that people do and then they get their fingers burnt. We are trying to do this on the platform of denomination, and we have capable people of integrity, people who know what they need to do. They are going to be behind this. So thank you so much for that. But John, as we are speaking, Lasunkami David mentioned something. He said, though you have mentioned something around that line too, he said, how do you guard against hackers of this software or this setup, please?
Okay, so that's what I've said also at the beginning. I would strongly suggest that you don't do the web-based database yet. Start with an in-house system, detached from any external connection. For example, our own system is resident on my own system at the moment, so nobody has access to it. So it's only myself that can actually see the information, and then of course to the president, Mr. Funsho Amao for our own cooperative, and of course our chairman, Professor Chris Owurogu. Every quarterly, I will always send them statement of what they need to know. For example, where our members up to with their payment, they get us a copy of that. Are there any late payment in the last quarter? People that are paid late, so that if there are consequences, they know how best to address that. And of course, if anybody has borrowed loan, where are they with their monthly loan repayment? So they get all those information that they want. And I always, because we're still evolving or so in our development or so. So if they need any more info, anything that they need to get. Now, one thing with when you have big data like this, you can interrogate it with any query. And once that query is set up or so, you can get that query periodically going forward. So no problem with that also. Now, after a while, if you want to take it further, once you are so sure that everything's running fine and you want to allow people to be able to do all those minor inquiries themselves, for example, to check where they are with their payment and themselves without having to email and then you send the information straight to them. Now, that's when you turn your database to a web-based form. Now, this stage, what we're talking about is that people can then be given a username and PIN, which they can use to log in, and then they can interrogate just only their own section of the database to see what they have paid up to. Now, at that point or so, I would then strongly suggest a very, very robust firewall system, and a firewall of both software and hardware firewall to make sure that when people log in, there's enough check and balances to make sure that they are who they are, and of course, they cannot see what they are not meant to see, and you make it so restrictive that at that stage that they can only see things about themselves when they log in. So eventually, yeah.
Thank you so much, Brother John. Brother Sunday Samuel asked a question which I want Brother Francois Mao to respond to, or Brother Awe. He said, what are the areas these funds will be invested in? What are the areas?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think one of our brothers who praised us also asked that we talk so good about all the good things, but what are the problems? And it's good to address that. And what I want to say first is that some of the potential problem is what John has addressed. We have situation where people may not continue to contribute for one reason or the other. So the system recognized that to see should in case people lose job or maybe loss of business and all those stuff. The system recognized that for a pause. And when they come back, there are consequences, and that's part of the bylaws of the corporation and for the society. Those are the kind of things that will be shared with the members. So there are potential problems and all those stuff, but there are mitigating measures that will be rolled out. Also, one important thing that we need to let people know is that for now, based on the steer from our national leadership, we will not be having the portion of members borrowing money to start with. It is when the cooperative has grown and stabilized and all those, and in the future, a decision will be taken on that. At the initial point, based on many things, and more importantly, the issue of transparency and all those stuff, that will not happen initially. So the funds that we will be getting will be solely meant for investment. The question about where the fund will be invested to, I did mention this earlier. We will have the Cooperative Management Committee. We will have another committee that will be in charge of seeking investment opportunity, which they will recommend to the cooperative. And then we have another committee that will be screening the investment. So let me give you an example. Couple of the way we look at it is that we want to invest or do things that will not involve day-to-day running of our member, because MMU is a face. So we are all contributors in willingly. Though we will have people that we will employ that will work with the management, but they are not going to be involved in that kind of decision on where to invest the funds. So it's still our members, the leadership will decide on different membership and how they will be constituted. And those are people that will be screening the project. But for this kind of thing, from my experience in the past, you have a fund management company, you have a project screening committee that will screen it, that will then make recommendation to the higher authority. So the part of project, let me give you an example. We are not deciding yet, but one thing is that all of us have been complaining about Bowen low capitalization. 100 million is just too little. In fact, Brother Wuyi came up with it. Why is it that Bowen cannot have many branches across Nigeria? It is because of their low capitalization. So one area could be, do we want to invest in Bowen and make them to be properly capitalized so that they will be able to serve the yearning of a lot of Baptist people, a lot of our young people want to borrow money and all those stuff? That may be an option. The other option I mentioned to you earlier, I said there is one of the estate, I'm talking about Ridika, where they develop the lovely 24-hour electricity, good road network, good. So there are a lot of projects like that many people are doing. We may be the promoter. We may be the one that come up with that idea and we partner with investor and so on and so forth. We may decide to fund another maybe insurance company. So once you have opportunity to have funds, and when I mentioned earlier, I'd say we're hearing billions, and all of us, we used to think that, this billion. After we is in our finger, 1,000 per month per person for a lot of people is several billions. So the project that will be invested to are not what we can particularly tell you, because we move one state at a time. Now we are talking about forming the cooperative. We are registering it. We are going to start. We have a set of idea of the kind of thing we want to do and the type of project we'll be investing in. It is even not my duty or any of us now, because we will call in some other expert who will be bringing suggestions and all those stuff on those kind of things, which will then be screened before being sent to our leaders and others for decision making. So I don't know whether that's answered the question.
Thank you so much for that. It's a very legitimate question. And I hope Bankole Kaude too has been satisfied with that part of the thing. Well, I know that when you talk about projects, you talk about smoothly or straight. I know there will be challenges, but we want to be sure, we want to assure everyone that this is a project that God helping us and relying on the integrity, the expertise of our people that are managing this, we are going to make a success of this. Brad Benga asked a question about what will be criteria for member to access loans. I think that will be with time, going by what Amo said now. I will be part of that, but it's not going to be the first to start with, because when we put fund, I'll be able to invest in a number of business. Of course, even it will be more than people taking loan, because the dividend will be there. But that will unfold with time. I want to thank our panelists again and our people who have been contributing. Please, it's now open for us to ask questions, and we can put our questions on the live stream on the Facebook. We are going to harvest the questions there. Please, on YouTube too, let's ask our questions. If you need anything for us to clarify, we can do it here. So please send the questions to YouTube and Facebook. Those are where we are live streaming at the time. We have received some questions from there already, but if you are still contemplating of sending questions or thinking of where we are going to send the questions, please, you can send through Facebook and YouTube as we go along. Yes. So having said this about this venture, and having also established the benchmark of starting by next year, and we are having our certificate ready, what will be what preparations should our local unions begin to make now? This question can be answered by Bra Mo, can also Bra Uwe or Bra Tiba, please. What preparations should our members be making now from the local unions, so that once we start, we can have our people to key in immediately?
Yeah, I will suggest that Brother Uye taking this first, and I will chip in.
Okay.
Brother Muiwa and others, they are not our members. They are outsiders that we have called to come and talk to us. We will still ask them if they have suggestions, but I will. Brother Uye, please, maybe you start.
Okay, sir. All right, thank you very much, sir. I think it's very simple. We are looking at a target date of January 2024 to start this business. We need to start putting up enlightenment campaign right from now. And let's all start sensitizing people towards our project, what we want to achieve. One thing which is key, which I want us to also do, is that we are going to let them realize the returns they're going to make and the time frame with which they're going to make their return. Like I always joke with people when we discuss things like this. You buy the charge card, 1,000 naira, before you know it, it's over. This time around, you are investing 1,000 naira, and within a record time, which we shall calculate, you know investment coming back to you. And then apart from the investment coming back to you, you know the things you can gain by being part of this project. So I see it as a point that if we start to sensitize from now, and we lead by example, we're going to lead from the front. We shall first of all talk to those who we think are people who should be able to help us push this thing in the local churches. We'll talk to them one-on-one. And then this way, we're going to get a sizable number which will kind of encourage other people to come on board. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Wuyi. So there's need for creating awareness and sensitizing people about it and getting prepared, because we are talking about opportunity now coming. We should be prepared to key into that opportunity. So we want our men from different conferences, from associations, to take this message home, that an investment is about birthing. Investment is about starting. How do we want our members to take advantage of this? Because when we take advantage of this, it helps individuals. It also helps the associations. It helps the conferences. And then, of course, our union will be stronger. because whether you like it or not, or the reality is that we need money in our lives, in our churches, to do a number of things. And then money eases a lot of burdens, a lot of challenges. So people, and we are not talking about bring 1 million, bring 100,000 now. We are talking about something that you can dispense with, something that is not going to cost you a leg. And of course, some of us, even what we used to load our phones in a month or a week, if you calculate, it's something that if you have invested, probably will be reaping more dividend. Brahma, please can you say as we are coasting home right now for this webinar?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. One very important thing that I take from Fradabu is a flyer that we now have to quickly develop, which we will then be sharing aggressively. But I would like to say this: every leader of a church is a man. So all our pastors, we will start from there. They will be what I will call our anchor person that will be giving order. And he will be giving order to our MMU chairman of all local churches. I am one of them, fortunately and unfortunately. We will also want the association and the conferences to play a big role. So, the association has always been, they are the one that coordinates all what we pay to the conference, to the convention and all those stuff. So we also want them to play this role now, that even if it's awareness role, or each association can decide, or even playing a role on being the midwifing that will make sure the money comes in and all those stuff. So I look at the issue of creating awareness at different levels. But I think starting from bottoms up will be the best. From local churches through all our ministers, the pastors, they are the number one man in each of the church, and they are mandating their MMU chairman. It may well be that different churches we have a large pulse. Let me use that one. We can even start by sort of commitment and say 1,000 per member commitment, just as a starting point, just to show commitment. And when we see that, when the members see that, they begin to contribute. So, brother, I would like to thank you for your leading by example, that you say that you will draw all your children. One important thing that I want to say also that we thought of is that this is a program being inspired by men, because we are the leader of the house. It may well be in future we may extend this thing beyond the confine of MMU, or we may recommend something similar. We don't know. God will guide us what to do. But where I'm going to is that we want to showcase this as an example that through the men who are leader of the home, this is the thing that should be done for other people to follow, like the WMU, like the youth, like other people. And it may well be that we expand it to incorporate them, or we recommend. So as time goes on with that. So I just say that in respect to you drawing your children. So we will have to, that's part of what we know. Do we allow drawing our children, even if they are both male and female? We will discuss those things. But thank you for leading by example, Brother Wee. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Brother Mao, for that submission. I think just as I mentioned, we just need to get ready to take advantage of this opportunity, to key into it, and then to get it running. The drivers of the project, they are set, and we are also ready as a union to get this off the ground. So people, as men, everywhere, we should be ready. Yes, I have, Dr. Samson Adedokun saying, great job by leaders, like made this happen. This quite inspirational. This is an encouragement. We should make this happen. We can pull fund. If you go alone, you can only go fast. But if you go together, you will go far. And of course, when we pull our funds together, we are going to have a large chunk to do what we need to do. Thank you so much, Dr. Edogun, for that. But Olasunkanmi, sorry, it's either okay. Brother David said that all our pastors will be carried along. They will help us to sell the product much faster. Just as Brother Mo said, that the leader, and of course, I think Brother Atiba also has also mentioned. So it's important that we do this together, and I'm sure that our pastors will drive this for us. Just on the lighter side, when Brother Mo was saying that our pastors are men, what about churches where we have women? What would they do to drive this?
Excuse me, sir. I think if care is not taken, by the time we bring women on board, they may overtake us, because if you look at the women's auxiliary, what they do within the Baptist setting, in fact, if care is not taken, they will overtake us.
Thank you so much.
Brother, we like that competition, but let's be the person that anchor and create the awareness. And that's what I was saying later. We want to use our strength. Ultimately, we believe we should use the strength of the entire Nigerian Baptist membership. 40 million is not small. It's not small, but we have to start. We have to show leadership by example, and then others will follow. So I don't mind if they overtake. Brother, we leave that one for now.
Thank you so much, Brother Adewale Adeboboye saying here, we appreciate all our speakers and the coordinator for this great exposure. Thank you, Brother Wale Adeboboye. And this goes to all of us. I think we have really spoken well about this. Brother John, before we ask, we round off this program. Brother John, is there anything you just want to chip in again before the end of this program, please?
Yes, I just want to say that when things like this are kind of created, it's always very advantageous to make sure that there is a uniform way in which you say, like, the shares. For example, I'll use our own Methodist Grammar School alumni cooperative as an example. At the moment, we operate on a 10,000 Naira share capital. So a member can then say, I will pay 10,000 every month. So that means that member is on a 10,000 share capital. So that means in a year, they will pay 120,000 Naira. Now, some members are paying that minimum. Some that are able to are paying as much as 50,000 every month. Some are even paying as much as 300,000 every month. So people have that different cup of tea, and their coat can well serve them also. Now, the benefit of this is you can then say at the end of the year, your financial year, so you can also equally distribute that dividend for that year based on the more people are paying, the more dividend they get. Now, the benefit of this is that it encourages people to actually increase their payment. I'll give you an example. Last year, our dividend was about 7,000 Naira per share. So those that are paying 10,000 only got that 7,000 Naira. If you are paying 100,000 every month, you will get times 7 of it. Now, this year, financial year, we are not yet into the third quarter and already the projected dividend for our own cooperative is now already over 10,000 Naira per share. So those paying 300,000 will get 30 times of that 10,000. Now, so that really helps, really. So that way people can then and then you make sure that after every year, financial year, you can then allow people to increase to the minimum if they want to, if their circumstances changes. Say they're already paying so much, and now maybe they've lost their job or they want to downsize, then they can come down to the minimum if they want to. So if you keep it that way, then you have a uniform way so that you don't have to be having a complicated way of actually working at the dividends. It just works out for itself every year. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this.
You want me to respond to that, sir?
Yeah. Hello? Yes.
You want me to respond to that, sir?
Yes, I want you to quickly, yes, just quickly. And then I want you to wrap it up with a question that says, what is the, what kind of contributing unit, what will be, that's what they want to have an idea. That's coming from Bra, okay, again, that we want to have an idea of what will be the contributing unit so that they can begin to run with this idea. But again, from what Brother John said now, I think they're giving something so that, you know, we also are talking about how do we put this fund, the contribution, such a way that administering and then giving the dividends will be smooth. Please, can you respond? Okay,
thank you very much, sir. John, thanks very much. You know, you asked the right question, only that maybe when I was talking, it may well be that I was using that as an analogy. When we were looking at it, because we want participation of large members, you know, large base of our members, we want people to participate even in the grassroots, in the remote village and all those stuff. So what we have recommended is a share of 1,000 per month to make it easy for people. That is the unit. Some people, just as we are doing on our side, John, can decide that, okay, I want to pay everything up in 1 year, 12,000, they pay at the beginning of the year. Some people may say, I want to do 500 units, which is 500,000. That's what I want to be contributing. They either contribute it at the beginning of the year or they spread it up. Just similar to what I do. So, but just because we want to encourage, you remember that when we started also, John, we started with 50. Just because we want other people to join, we reduce to 10. Yes. The same kind of thing we are doing here. So each unit is 1,000 because we want a large part, because we have a large base of you know, our members, and we want almost everybody to participate. So, and that's why we are using 1,000 per unit. It may well be that somebody wants 1 million units, 500,000. So, but that is it. I hope that you know, answer the second question, sir. Yes. Because I don't know whether the person is talking about the mode of payment, or if it's the mode of payment. By the time we finish the registration and based on the decision of the leader, we are going to open an account, a cooperative, you know, cash-shared cooperative account. And that account is where the money will be paid to. And we, you know, just as we said, we will use the software to manage that. What we are thinking will be the best approach, which I mentioned earlier, is that we will be going through each of the local churches in terms of making direct payment. We can consider people making direct payment and using the software to manage. But at the beginning, the easiest form will be paroling this thing through the local churches till we are fully developed and people who want to do it really can do. That would be my thought for now, but this can be refined at a later date.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have somebody who's going to thank all of us for our contribution, what we have done this evening. I want to thank Brother Idapo Badeola, who sent an advice to us. We need to create a communication plan for effectiveness in the projects as this. That is, rather than going through the traditional method of church or something. Thank you so much. We have taken that from you, and we will run with it. We thank you, Brother John Oyelade. He said this is very encouraging, and we pray that he receives wider acceptability among our brethren. Thank you so much for that contribution, and we want to believe that people like you also will be ambassadors in various churches where we have found ourselves. Brother Muyiwa, were you itching to say something?
Yes, I would just suggest that we kickstart registration as early as possible.
Okay.
Yes. Well, since there's a structure to sensitize members through the local churches already, then probably by 1st of December, whoever is interested can begin to register. That will give a head start on the project. So by the time it kicks off effectively in January, then you can just hit the ground running.
Thank you so much for that. Again, I want to thank all our panelists and our people who have already joined as well. I want to thank Brother Francois Mao, very tireless about this project, very encouraging. We send tests and we speak at odd hours in the night. If it's outside the country, we are talking. And the passion he has brought into this project, I believe that we are going to make a success of it. I want to thank Brother Olume Awe as well, who has devoted his time for this project today. And he has been, the registration itself, if you want to give it to maybe a house to do or a firm, we know what you will have paid to do that. But Brother Awe has actually been a dear brother to us in this project and has given us another assurance that in the next 2 weeks, we should have our certificate. Thank you so much for that. Brother John, who spoke and joined us from London, the UK, thank you so much for the software. We know that with Brother Amo, we have you in our basket. I'm not putting in a basket really, but I'm saying we have you by our side. And we believe that we are going to benefit from that. Brother Wuyi, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. You are the first person that spoke about this to me about 3 years back. And then we were thinking of bringing somebody into the CAR committee. I think you fit into that role. And from what you have said this afternoon, I think people will know that indeed you know what you are saying. Thank you, all of you. I'm going to yield the floor to our national PRO. Our Thales is the chairman of our national webinar committee. Is also tireless, is resourceful, and always ready all the time. Of course, I've mentioned the other time too that we have our president, national president on call. He's an associate professor. He's Bra Asau. So Asau is also has been with us since the beginning of this program. They will also say something before we round up this thing. Bra Moses, and I want to yield the floor to you right now. Bra Moses. Dear President, please, do you have a word for us? Bra Moses must be somewhere. Yes.
All right. Let me start by thanking you, Deacon Adeshina, for again. You've done this over and again, and every time we have you anchoring the webinar session, it's been wonderful. And I must say that I've enjoyed every bit of it. In fact, I'm more excited than when we started going through the session with our guests. Let me appreciate you for the job you're doing with the HESID Ventures. And I'd like to say to everyone that is on this webinar with us today that this program is somewhat divorced from the regular administrative structure of the MMU of Nigeria. The HESID Ventures, the HESID Global Ventures, which is our business arm, is responsible for anchoring this program. And of course, you know that Deacon Adeshina is the chairman of the board of HESID Global Ventures. So we don't have any interference from the administrative structure of the MMU so that this can run as a business. That's the first assurance I want to give to everyone. Ramao has been wonderful. Ramao has been the chairman of the technical committee on investments as far as HESID Ventures is concerned. And they made several proposals, and they've taken time to conduct studies, to do some thorough research to come up with this initiative of the cooperative society. And they've taken huge steps to ensure that this happens. And when we presented it through the chairman of the ventures, presented it at the last Congress, it was approved. And ever since, they have been on the registration of the cooperative society, and I must commend the passion of Ramao. It's been wonderful. In fact, I lack words to describe his commitment towards this project. I also want to appreciate all others who are working with him. Barrister who has been handling the issues of registration. I've not met you personally, but your commitment from the time they called you up on this assignment to this point and giving us the assurance that in 2 weeks the registration certificate will be with us is a great encouragement. So thank you very much for what you are doing behind the scene to ensure that this happens. Moses has been, of course, anchoring these webinar sessions for us as chairman of the webinar committee and doing a great job at it. We're very grateful. The input of John with regard to the IT component of this project, in fact, has given me great confidence that this will work out very well. In fact, I didn't know of that component up until joining this webinar myself, and I'm so excited. And to know that he's making that huge sacrifice at no cost, all as a commitment to the work of God through the MMU of Nigeria. I'm so grateful on behalf of the National Executive Committee. I want to say thank you for that commitment. To the rest of the men who have joined from within and outside the country, our economy as a nation is struggling. There's no doubt about that. And we cannot just sit and get disillusioned about what is happening to us as individuals, to us as churches, to us as families, as a consequence of the dwindling fortunes of the economy. Now, we can leverage on our numbers, as we have been told by the experts this evening, to ensure that we are able to get ahead of the economy, And this will have multiple implications. Benefits to us as individuals who are making the investments. It will be beneficial to the MMU of Nigeria, who will also share from the profit. It will be beneficial to the entire church and to the entire convention. Because like Ramal said, the investments can go in any direction. If, for instance, we choose to invest in Bowen, then the convention has benefited. Churches who go to the to Bowen to get facilities for their projects and all of that have benefited. Families who do the same have also benefited. You know, we are talking about the BICC both in Lagos and later on in Abuja and then later on in Owerri. When projects, of course, for BICC in Lagos, in Ogun State, the investments in terms of housing have begun. And who says that this project cannot also get into investments in that area? So there are many options. And I'm so glad that those who are driving it are not only passionate, they have the technical competence and the experience. And these are persons who are already practicing in the arena of, you know, cooperative societies. So it's not just that they are coming with experience from other areas of business, but they already have the practical experience in manning cooperative societies. So I'm so delighted and I'm so excited. In fact, just know that my registration is waiting for the day you announce that we can start subscribing. And I want to say to all our men that it is riskier not to take some risk. Every business comes with some risk, but if you do the risk benefit analysis, you find that this is worth doing. In fact, it's a greater risk not to take any risk. And so I call on all our men, and I'm challenging the PRO and his team, working with the HESI Global Ventures, to put out the machinery for ensuring that this project, we market it very well. Yes, we'll go through the churches, but I believe that we can do beyond just going through the churches. We can really do a lot of marketing through our channels to ensure that every Baptist man keys into this project. So let me end by saying thank you. I'm so excited, and I believe that this project will outlive this current administration of MMU leadership and will be an avenue for setting the tone for other greater projects in the MMU of Nigeria. God bless you all, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, National President. Thank you so much. We are grateful that you graced this occasion. I know that you're always in support of all that we do. We pray for more wisdom for you, and we pray for more anointing and blessing. It gladdens to us our heart to hear that you are ready to subscribe immediately. And of course, you said that it is it's a greater risk not to take a risk at all. So I want to let our people know that this is a project that will actually fly. It's not going to be dragged down by administrative bottleneck. It's on the business of Asset Global Ventures Limited that will drive this business. And as he said also, it's going to, even when all of us are no longer there, the project, the thing will continue. Thank you, and thank you. The PRO, you are on now. Okay, thank you. You said no comment. So again, I want to thank everyone, all listeners, viewers everywhere. We look forward to having you again next year when we go for the next the webinar for 2024. May the Lord Almighty keep us beyond that date and continue to bless us and prosper us. Thank you all. Goodbye and God bless.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.